Do you want to quit drugs? Alright, now hear me out because this may be controversial. But the best way to stop doing drugs is to do all the drugs. That way when your heart gives out, you are officially drug-free. Hello and welcome back to the only show to remind you that you can make dynamite from peanuts. No shit. Here on the PeterPod Network! Season 2!
Because your theory is we're going to go down there and have a donkey barbecue and I'm going to furnish the ass, right? You are not. You don't know where that's been.
Hello and welcome back for another episode of the PeterPod Network. It's the 25th fucking episode of the season and also my birthday. So hold on to your shit because I've been drinking all day and this should be fun. That's right, I am PeterPod. He's Will in the back. And this week's mascot, Charles Goodyear, who invented the condom in 1839 and made it so you don't have to be stuck with that bitchy cow for the rest of your life. Yes, we have returned with an all-new show, and this week we talk about the only man to be charged with child pornography and still be your childhood hero has died this week. And anyone who has childhood nightmares of the furniture coming to life and eating them knows exactly who we're talking about. Keene, New Hampshire held the 4th annual Wizarding Week, and the sheer number of single adult women dressed like very overweight slutty wizards and witches was sure to make you question humanity. Twitter is now known as X because someone got bored or something. 4 kids camping in Moultonborough had to be hospitalized after getting hit by lightning, and now they have the best reason ever to tell their parents to go fuck themselves when they tell them to go outside and play more. Tori Spelling went from sleeping in a posh bedroom in 90210 to sleeping on a bed that also turns into a dinner table in her RV. A fucking plane crashed on Hampton Beach in New Hampshire, and some are calling the pilot a hero, and the rest of us are calling him the asshole who crashed a plane on a crowded fucking beach. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is looking at a divorce, and once that's done, most people assume that is when we finally find out that he's gay. And someone created a whole new Donkey Kong game on a Pennsylvania highway, except this time there wasn't a fat Italian midget plumber to save us. All this and more this week on the PeterPod Network. We also have a new sponsor this week. We told you there's a new one coming a few episodes ago, and we want to thank Nasty Pets Pet Shop for their support of New Hampshire's favorite shitty little show. So please stay tuned after the PPN news this week for that and help support the show. This week's email comes from Charles in Portsmouth. Chuck writes, "You guys should come up to our bar in Portsmouth so me and my friends can show you a good time. We're a good group of guys that love a good beer, and we can find you anything you want while you're here. If you come before the Pats start the preseason, then they show ostrich racing on every Sunday. It really is a lot of fun." And then he ends the email with, "Really Big Jim was fucking awesome." And thank you for your email, Charles. For those who don't know what he's talking about, Really Big Jim was a song by the Sound Company from episode 23, I think. As for the invitation, we're guessing that this is your favorite bar, not your actual bar, since you didn't give us a name. And while we do like to go off and meet fans, and of course go drinking, anytime someone offers to find us anything we want, well, that's usually not a good sign. Though now we are all about ostrich racing, so keep an eye on your emails, because we may get back to you on that one. And if you want to write in and maybe have your message read on the air like Charles in Portsmouth did, and not like Jessica in Bedford did when she wrote in to tell us that we need to use our show to try to build up the community and not be so mean. To which we say, don't put that shit on us. You want it so bad you create your own fucking show, do it yourself. We are not here to fight your causes. Otherwise, we'd be called the benefit show for women who have way too much free time in their fucking hands because they can't get any dick. Anyways, hit us up at the PeterPodNetwork@gmail.com and you may end up with the unique honor of getting the Jessica and Bedford treatment. Because as we always say, we are giant assholes. And we assume that anytime someone writes into us that you are giving us full permission to do what we do best. We are so very good at what we do. Also remember that when you write into the PeterPodNetwork@gmail.com, you got to remember the THE, or you ain't speaking to me. Also hit that subscribe, follow, and like button on whatever platform you're listening to us on, and we can also be found on all the major socials. That's Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter's new handle X, which makes no fucking sense, but we'll get into that a little bit later. And for those who enjoy the PeterPod Network at work, we can also be found on Amazon Music, Samsung Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and more. And if you're not sure if we're on your favorite platform, and you see a search bar, just type in PeterPod Network and see what happens. And as always, make sure to check out the archives at PeterPodNetwork.com, the home of all things PeterPod Network. There you can find all the songs, bits, and full episodes, even the hard-to-find early, really shitty ones that you can't find anywhere else. So if you want to find a really good example of everything that's wrong with people today, check out PeterPodNetwork.com. So why don't we say we get this show started off right, the way we know how, with... What are the words to the song? I don't know, but I'll carry on, because I've got something to say. And here comes the rant of the week. Hello, welcome back for another rant that is sure to make you question most of your decisions, because this week, instead of King of the Jackholes, we came across something that, well, we'll get into that in a moment, because this week's rant isn't specifically about that. No, this week we want to talk about the stupid fucking shit that you people out there are willing to waste your hard-earned money on. And I'm not talking about the people deciding between paying the electric bill and buying milk. I'm talking about the people who have cash to burn to think things like the charity to distribute clean needles will solve the drug epidemic. Case in point, just announced this week, a volunteer research team has decided to combine its own money plus whatever donations it receives with a group from the Loch Ness Centre in Drumnadgitch, Scotland. And before I get the emails, yeah, I know I pronounced that wrong, who together are prepared to fund what they are calling the Loch Ness Exploration, which in its essence is a fucking massive waste of a shitload of money and a stupid amount of resources being put forward to scour the loch known as Ness for, yeah, you guessed it, the Loch Ness Monster. And it was bad enough we were wasting our money on the iPhone 14, 8 months after the 13 came out, or that OnlyFans is an actual business option, but now we have decided that looking for the fucking boogeyman is worth the cost. How many of you out there remember seeing the Star Wars prequels? Yeah, that's just one more example of how some shit is just not worth the money. And seeing as how it's that easy to see, just because something can be paid for, it probably shouldn't. Why the fuck are folks shelling out enough money to catch the attention of CBS News and The Insider? Because this many people think it's a good idea to go hunting for a creature that you wouldn't even know what to do with if you fucking found it anyways. Have you thought about that, you fucking morons? What if this goddamn dinosaur is actually real? He's never even been bothered by a human before, so what do you think he's going to do to your dumbasses while he decides if you're a danger to him or not? That's right, and because apparently I have to do the thinking for these people, I'm going to speak directly to them right now, so please bear with me. Hey, assholes! Well, pretty much everyone thinks you're all paranoid retards who need to get laid. I'm just guessing here. Yeah, right. But every single one of you has seen a Godzilla movie and has seen what happens when you piss off the giant monster under the water that wasn't supposed to exist. So what the fuck do you think is a happy ending in this scenario? That Nessie is real and the bastard rampages across Scotland in search of Mothra? This is how horror movies start, and you're acting like the kid who wants to run to the bathroom and say Candyman 3 times in the mirror. Here's a tip. No one likes that kid. The search itself is said to be the largest in 50 years, which once again proves that we aren't actually any smarter than we were in 1970. A time when pulling out wasn't yet a birth control option. And that alone should be a warning, because does anyone think that when all of these enthusiastic assbags find out there isn't actually a fucking dinosaur at the bottom of some random lake in Scotland, they're suddenly going to go home and just go, oh, we were wrong, sorry. No, these delusional fairy tale hunters are going to go double down and say he has magical powers, some crazy shit, and the fucking Harry Potter crowd will join in and we'll have another shitty 3-movie deal out there. Except this one is starring Lizzo as the 20-ton sea beast, and because he has to be in everything, Morgan Freeman is doing the narration. We're not saying stop buying stupid shit. That Brookstone store in the mall wouldn't exist if we did. But when it comes to searching for things that waste your money, well, consider giving it to me. You know what? Fuck Will in the back, I'm going to put this out there. If you are stupid rich and don't know what to spend your vast amounts of money on, please consider donating to my charity, the Make PeterPod Filthy Rich Fund. With your gracious donation, we can end the constant whining of PeterPod's annoying-ass downstairs neighbor, Mrs. Phelps, by allowing us to buy her apartment and kick her 78-year-old geriatric ass out of the building so we can continue to live life without her constant complaints that we backed over her dog or that she needs an ambulance. I'm sure you agree that we shouldn't have to live like that. And stay tuned after this for the PPN News. Sound Company, zoom, zoom, zoom!
On tonight's show, we're interviewing none other than the world-famous PeterPod and Will in the back on how they're handling suddenly becoming the world's richest men. Because as it turns out, being an asshole really does pay off. Mr. Pod? Mr. in the back? What have you been doing now that you can do really anything you want?
Well... Lord help us all, Lord help us all. We bought 400 mansions, we leave the lights on. I own the Batmobile and Beyonce's kids mow my lawn. Now I bought a hippopotamus because I can. So I bought a hippopotamus so he is friends. And all my clothes are made from something extinct, like my T-Rex boots Oh, my saber-tooth jeans and our new girlfriends can't find nothing that fits, but that's how it is when you're rich as shit. Lord help us all. Lord help us all. I rented out the White House, changed it to the Let's Get High house. Biden was hoping that we were all getting bent, getting lap dances from the goddamn vice president. My feet don't ever have to touch the ground. I pay a guy to carry me around. Swaddle like a baby all tucked in. That's how it is when you're rich as shit. Lord help us all. Lord help us all. We bought our own jet so we could fly around and drop bags of shit on the people on the ground. Now my watch doesn't work, but that is not what it's for. Because when you see it sparkle, it drops your panties to the floor. Fee, fi, fo, fum. We bought a yacht, and then we crashed that bitch, so we bought another one. And everybody knows a jury will acquit, because that's how it is when you're rich as shit. Lord help us all. Lord help us all. Lord help us all. Lord help us all. Coming to you live from the PeterPod News Station's world-famous Stage 5. Join our host in discovering what makes you tick, New Hampshire. Is your neighbor secretly running a Taiwanese brothel out of his basement? He is. Are they open when I get off work tonight? They are. Do we know if they accept checks? They do. Can someone call my wife and let her know I'll be late? On it. This is the PPN News. Welcome back to New Hampshire's only half-assed local news. The now incredibly annoying world of Harry Potter was alive and well in southern New Hampshire as Keene's Harry Potter-inspired Wizarding Week did its thing for the fourth straight year. Local markets and artists in the area milked the Harry Potter franchise for every penny they can, while children and sad adults everywhere dressed up as their favorite characters and played pretend in the city streets in celebration of Harry Potter's fictional birthday. It should be pointed out that this is the exact reason why most of us stopped following Star Wars. 20 years after the goddamn movies came out, some of you out there were still taking this stupid shit way too far, and then the rest of us didn't want to be lumped in with you virgins, who probably have to wait around once the event is over for your mom's minivan to come pick up your special needs ass. Get off the chat boards and go outside and talk to a girl. Anyways, the event appears to be a success as the local bullies union announced it would have been just too easy to wait outside the area and make nerds punch themselves, so they decided to take the day off. Next night, God is up to his old tricks again this week, and in his latest campaign to end the Granite State, it looks like his aim is getting better. As 4 youth campers had to be taken to the hospital after a near lightning strike in Moultonborough that caused the camp's medical staff to determine that the 4 boys needed professional care. God's recent attacks on the state of New Hampshire now being aimed at children, it appears this time, leading one podcast host to wonder if it isn't time that we strike back at the vengeful dictator in the sky who thought it'd be funny to make us suffer through the career Nickelback. And just speaking personally, maybe it's time to form an army and figure out the right way to fight back. We should talk to the skunks. They'd probably help us. I mean, think about it. Wouldn't you be pissed at the guy who made it so every time you want to do it doggy style, you risk something worse than a baby? And if we can have them talk to the platypuses, I bet you we can have a really large army who are all pretty pissed at their creator. And also tonight, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's Superman! No, wait, it's a fucking plane, and if those people don't move, they are fucked. Some pretty decent piloting skills, and what most are saying is just pure fucking luck, left no one injured after a small plane had a small accident with the ocean, mere yards from a busy Hampton beach. Reportedly, the aircraft had done a full roll once it hit the water and came to a rest in an upright position, and was said to be flying over the beach area water, spilling a banner for a rock concert before it went down. The pilot, who tonight is being called the hero for preventing his plane from creating a corpse-filled crater on a busy tourist site, was helped to the shore by nearby lifeguards who witnessed the plane's descent from the sky. And for those who want to know, the banner the plane was dragging through the sky was advertising a concert for an Eagles tribute band playing locally. So, since no one was actually hurt, maybe the plane crash was the best thing for everybody. And as we announced earlier, we have a new sponsor here at the PeterPod Network, so please allow me to say a big thank you to Nasty Pets Pet Shop, and yeah, here you go.
Hey, my homie G, come on down to Gangsta Pop and Little JJ's newest entrepreneur. That's right, we opening a pet shop. Yeah, and if you need to buy hamster, cause like, well, you one of them homosexuals, or you just real fat and sat on that motherfucker, you come on down to Nasty Pest Pet Shop. We get you fixed up real good with a new Stuart Little for your kid. Fast and it takes a score and 8 ball on the strizzy. And if you looking for a kitty, oh my boy, we got you hooked the fuck up. Look at all these cute little bait cats. You can train your pity up real good using these. We got a whole box full of them. You got some of them long-haired bitches and some of them orange ones. I think that one's dead, but if you still want it, we sell you that shit quick, boy. That's right, Nasty Pets Best Shop on the corner of 38th and Swayze, right across from Dawn of the Trick, and right next to the stairs where Suitcase Stanley sleep. You can't miss us.
Listen to stories from around the world. Sit back and relax with your girl. Try not to laugh until it hurts. Welcome to another edition of our world. Welcome back to another edition of Our World, our little way of saying you're a giant piece of shit. But are we all? And we would like to start this edition of Our World tonight by recognizing the life and career of the one, the great Paul Reubens, a.k.a. Pee Wee Herman, who died this week at the age of 70 from cancer, and apparently he was very right when he said, take a picture, it'll last longer. Reports are that he kept the diagnosis private for 6 years, but openly succumbed to the disease July 31st, and ending the dreams of 40-year-old man-children everywhere, like our dear friend Scott Neary, and hoped that Pee-wee would have one more big adventure. For those who remember the kind of a children's show that Pee-wee's Playhouse was, Pee Wee Herman was the description we gave to our friends when they asked what acid felt like. And while it wasn't the longest-running show, Pee-wee's Playhouse will forever be a part of the memories of so many children of the 80s, which frankly explains a lot of things, like Kanye. And our hearts and well wishes are with the family and friends of Paul Reubens tonight, a.k.a. Pee Wee Herman. And to Paul himself, we thank you for your service. And in other news tonight, Elon Musk has decided to change the world again and announced that Twitter is now X, which sounds like an S&M dungeon, but considering that roughly 20% of Twitter is listed as not safe for work, maybe the change makes more sense than originally thought. Even though he took his sweet-ass time about it, Musk did eventually come out and explain that Twitter's new branding is part of turning the most popular app in the world into an everything app, whatever the fuck that is. So we're guessing that means no more jerking off to Twitter's version of InstaWhores, and now the app will do that for you? We're actually not sure about what the Musk meant, but seeing as how he's probably in the process of turning himself into a cyborg in preparation for his upcoming cage fight with Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg, which we still can't believe is a thing. So it may just be a wait-and-see situation to find out what's next for Twitter, or X, or whatever the shitty name may be next week. And it's also being reported tonight the one-time Princess of Hollywood, Tori Spelling, the same actress who only had a career because she was lucky enough to have a father who created one of the most popular television franchises in history, and fuck you, we both know that's what happened, is now living at a campground in California in an RV with her 5 kids, because now that daddy's dead, well, those acting jobs dried up faster than her vagina when she hit 40. Reports out there on the interwebs are that she was forced to move into the campground after leaving a budget motel after a brief stay due to her money troubles. And Page 6 is reporting that all of this stems from a mold issue at her actual home that she can't afford to get fixed. Which, I'm sorry, but those kids are pussies if all it takes is a little mold to send them running. I grew up in a house where if the raccoons in the attic didn't get you, the sudden electrocution from the plugging in the microwave at the same time as the coffee maker would. You would think Tori Spelling, of all people, the woman who survived being BFFs with Shannon Doherty. Hell, the fucking show 90210 couldn't survive being associated with Shannon Doherty. But Tori's afraid of a little mold? Weird. Well, at least she's not Brian Austin Green, I guess. And Canada's Prime Minister is about to have one hell of a man cave as Justin Trudeau and his wife of 18 years, Sophie Gregoire Trudeau, are getting divorced. And we know that Mr. Trudeau has a look that is loved by the ladies, but holy shit, fellas, the former Mrs. Trudeau is a fine piece of ass as well, and that shit is back on the market. The reason behind the divorce has not been disclosed thus far, but come on, we all know what happened. The guy was on the sexiest men alive list and rules the country. We can't say for certain, but it may be a safe bet that she got sick of him sampling the local cuisine in every country he went to. Again, we don't know this for certain, but as pretty as Sophie is, The kind of pussy that gets thrown at him on a daily basis is the same thing to him is telling any woman on earth that if she says she doesn't want anything from NATO's, then she's not eating any of my french fries. But that's not going to happen because you always want the thing you didn't choose when it ends up being hot and tasty. And that goes for both food and pussy. And in our final story tonight, Tilden Township, Pennsylvania got to relive all those old Nintendo games we used to love as kids, as someone was chucking fucking frozen bananas from a pickup truck. As many as 5 vehicles on the Hex Highway in the Penn State reported being struck on their cars by the frozen monkey food, smashing windows and denting vehicles, and in one instance to a woman who had her driver's window open. The frozen banana did a kind of boomerang action and swung in the window and hit her upside the fucking head and landed in an empty car seat she had in the back. So opportunity with the baby missed, I guess. And yeah, we encourage you to picture it because it seems pretty fucking funny to us. One highway vigilante did catch the incident on their driver's dash cam. Snitches. So police have leads and are currently searching for the suspects, but since no one was seriously hurt, and that one lady has one of the funniest stories ever to explain why her eyes no longer play nice together and point in the same direction, well, just saying we wouldn't mind if they got away with this one. That must have been some funny fucking shit. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, The Sound Company. Getting ready for the weekend, taking off with my friends, heading where the cold wind blows. But oh no, we ran into a funny thing, and it may be the end of the world. Starting fires and there's nothing left to lose. So all we can do is sit here, relax and sip our last beer. There's really nothing we can do. And that is our show for this week. Thanks for tuning in and checking out the PeterPod Network. Remember to like, subscribe, and follow wherever you find us. You can also catch us on Amazon Music, Samsung Podcast, Podcast Index, YouTube, Spotify, and more. You see a search bar, just type in PeterPod Network and see what happens. Send your emails to the PeterPodNetwork@gmail.com, and maybe we'll make fun of you on the show just like the fucks from this show. And of course, find the archives at PeterPodNetwork.com and see why we are New Hampshire's favorite shitty little show. So for Will in the back, I am Peter Pod, and our mascot this week, Charles Goodyear, was born in 1800 when medicine involved leeches, and still he got more pussy than you. Have a great week. We'll talk to you next Monday, only on the PeterPod Network. might be a little stoned and ready to be stupefied by a story about your mom. And maybe you'll realize that we just don't give a fuck. Just trying to have some fun. Just trying to have some fun. No, we don't care, really don't give a fuck. Just trying to have some fun. Just trying to have some fun. No, we don't care, still gonna call you a cunt. Just trying to have some fun. Just trying to have